Hi folks, this is Rose from In Rose's Garden, and today I'm going to work on video number 34 for our Missing Link series. Now Randy Brown of Thunderhorse Descendant normally does the videos, but occasionally she asked me to substitute for her. Well, today is one of those days. We are going to work on the nautical knot today. And if you want to work along with me, it is on page 84 and 85 of our Missing Link book. So let's get down and we'll get started on this. Okay, here we are with our book. And like I say, it's on page 84 and 85 if you wish to work along. And here is what we need. We need 5.5 inches of 20 gauge red brass wire. Well, I don't have red brass, but I have 20 gauge bare copper, so that's what we're going to use. And then 5.5 inches of 22 gauge twisted red brass wire. Well, I also do not have that, but I do have a 20 gauge twisted silver wire, so we'll use that instead. The tools we're going to need are a chain nose pliers, a flat nose pliers, a round nose pliers, bell forming pliers or steel mandrel 6mm and 8.5. Well, this big one has got both things on it. Flush cutter, rawhide mallet. I don't use a rawhide, I use a nylon. Here it is. My steel bench block is over there, and a Sharpie. Where's my Sharpie? There we go. These next few things we're not going to use because that's to oxidize it. And then a ruler. Now it says the finished size is going to be a 1/2 inch by 7/8 of an inch, and its level of difficulty is more challenging. So let's get our tools set aside here for right now. And let's get started. First thing, of course, was we're going to have to measure our measure and cut our wire. So let's keep these few things out while we do that. So it looks like we want the 5.5 of each. So here's our ruler. And we'll get out 5.5 inches of our copper. Come on, baby. Okay. First thing I'm going to do is cut the notch off. There's no sense in having it on there when we're working. 5.5 inches. So that's about, make sure it's all the way to the end. 5.5 is about right here. So let's get it cut right there. 5.5 of the copper, and now we'll switch to 5.5 of the twisted. Oh. That stuff doesn't stay straight. So 5.5 inches, be right here. Go. So there we got our wire cut. Now we need to see what our first step is going to be. Okay, first step says straighten both pieces of wire and mark midpoint of each wire with the Sharpie. Okay, that's pretty simple. Next step is grasp both wires on the mark with your bell-forming pliers and wrap right-hand wires up and around the 8.5mm barrel, pressing firmly to create a rounded shape. Try to keep the wires together as they will shift. Figure 1. Okay, that's what we need to do. So let's get it marked and then we will get to doing the next step. So they want us to make 5.5 and in the middle portion. So that would be 2 3/4. Where'd we put our Sharpie? There it is. So 2 3/4 is right here. We need to mark the same on the copper. Two 3/4 would be right here. Okay. So there we go. So the next step, it said, was grasp both wires on the mark with the bell-forming pliers and wrap the right-hand wires up and around. So we got it right here. And these are our right-hand wires. So we'll pull it up and around. Bing. And I think that's the way the picture looks. Pretty much so, yeah. Though this one doesn't really want to stay with its buddy. There we go. So now let's see what the book says for the next step. Step 3 is turn the loop around so that the short wires point up and the longer wires are on the right hand side. I guess so, just turn it like this. Insert the 6mm barrel into the loop and wrap the longer wires tightly up and around the barrel. Okay, so we take these out of here, I guess. Put the 6 in, hold it in place, like so, and then wrap these up and around the barrel. Okay, I believe that looks right to my picture, so I will sit that down and we will get it out and look at it. Okay, so we've gone through through instruction 4, which is figure 3. And then the next one says, hold the wires together tightly and measure the tail ends 3/4 of an inch beyond the top of the loop. Figure 4, trim the excess, repeat on the opposite side. Okay, so we're going to need the flush cutters then, and the ruler, because 3/4 from the tail. Okay, so if we're 3/4 from the tail, hold these together tightly. Put it right here on our, so that's where the heads of the loop is at. And we want to go to 3/4 of an inch, so that'd be here. Okay. So hold tightly and do the three-quarters of an inch. Okay. Looks like I had already done that side. I didn't think I had, but obviously I did. So come on, baby, stop being weird. Okay, let's go see what our next step is going to be after we do our... They really don't want to stay together. They keep wiggling over. But we'll just sort of make them. So let's go see what our next step is. Hold the wires firmly to maintain their shape, as they will tend to slide. With your fingers, bend one set of tail wires slightly so that it can be inserted into the opposite loop. Wrap the wires through and around the loop twice, pulling tightly with chain nose pliers. Figures 5 and 6. 5 and 6. Repeat steps 6 and 7 with the remaining set of tail wires. Okay. So what we need to do, it would seem, is we need to, well, one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I can get these closer in shape again, since they want to seem to take off and be something other. Okay. And then this side. Okay. So hold them tightly. Bend one set of wires. Now I turned it over because I find it easier to work with this hand. So bend one set of wires and go through the loop. Hold the wires firmly to maintain their shape. With your fingers, bend one set of tail wires slightly so that they can be inserted into the opposite loop. Wrap the wires through and around the loop twice. Okay, they're through now. So up and over. Where are my chain nose pliers? So I'm going to use them for a little help here. Step up and through and pull them up twice. Okay. It's twice. Now do the same on the opposite side. Okay. So we'll take the opposite side, and we'll bend them a little, tuck them into here, see, it looks like this one should be on this side. Okay, up and around. Come on, you guys, all the way through. So they go through twice. Oops. The silver one is starting to unravel. That is the only thing I don't like about twisted wire, because it's really pretty, but it unravels on the ends. Okay. Get them all tight. Let's see what our next step says after we've got our wires all the way through, which looks like they're pretty well there. So let's see what the next step says. Okay, now we've already did the repeat 6 and 7 with the remaining set of tail wires. Reinsert the barrel of the bell-forming pliers and press the wires around the barrel to reshape if needed. Repeat steps 6 and 7 with the remaining 7. Trim both sets of wire on the back side and press down the cut ends with chain nose pliers to secure. If needed, squeeze the wraps closer together with your chain nose pliers. Well, that's pretty simple. So all you need to do is we're going to cut the excess wires off. And like I said, the biggest problem with this silver wire to me is it's going to unravel somewhat. So given with this type of wire. Okay, I think that one's pretty good. Now we'll cut this side. Okay, push those down and on. Go. Now one of the things it said to do is to put your bell making pliers back into it and reform it around them so that you got the proper shape. Now one thing about wire wrapped things, once it's wrapped around something, it doesn't always want to go back into the place that it was originally. So see, like this side, it wants to, there we go. Looks like we got both sides going pretty good. Okay. Oh, that's cool. This side looks like it's a little more. Well, let's see what it says for our next step, shall we? Step 8. Hammer the link on each side a few times with the rawhide mallet on the bench block, focusing on the wrapped sections. And the last step is the oxidizing, which we're not going to do. So we'll get our nylon jaw hammer out and our steel bench block, and we'll do our little hammering bits. You know, I just realized those were the last steps, and I don't think we used our flat nose or our round nose, so I don't know why they said we needed them, but over here. Ouch! Gotta be careful with that hammer. And I think that's a couple of whacks, and that's what they said, a couple of whacks. So here is our little guy. Let's see if we need to put our bell making pliers in again. And since sometimes when you're hammering things, it makes them go out of shape some. There. Come on, baby, go in. You were just in a minute ago. There we go. there's our little piece. Let's see if we got any hangers. Nope, feel good. Looks like we're done. Isn't that cute? Smaller than I expected it to be for some reason from the pictures that are on here, but I think it's adorable. So again, here is our picture, and here is our link. Not too bad. This one looks like it's a little bit not quite rounded right here at this tip. Push it in just a hair to do that. Rounding. There we go. But there she is. Now it looks a lot different. I just noticed that a lot of the links are, their wraps are in different places. And where their wrap is makes it look a lot different. Because, see, this one is more like where mine is wrapped, with it about midway through. And I suppose this is close to midway through too, but this one right here is way up on either end, and see how different that one looks? And this one looks like it's way close down here, so that makes it bigger loops. So, but anyway, there is our little guy. I think he turned out really cute. I will pull it up some so you can see him a little bigger. There. Isn't that cute? I think it turned out really well. So anyway, this is our little nautical knot. Isn't that cute? It's a pretty cute little link. And that is from our missing link book on 84 and 85, the Nautical Knot Link. Isn't that cute? So, hope you enjoyed making this little guy with me. And I actually think he's really cute. I may have to make a second one and maybe make a pair of earrings out of him, because wouldn't it be cute with some beads dangling from him? I think it would. So this has been Rose from In Rose's Garden, and we have been doing, substituting for Randy Brown of Thunderhorse Descendant, doing the missing link nautical knot. Hope you enjoyed making that with me. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.